Welcome to episode 3 of the Your Mojo Intuitive Writing Challenge, where we are using tarot cards to get more in tune with our intuition and our creativity instead of our usual traditional creative writing processes that we've been using. We have been doing the Nice to Meet You tarot spread, where we are creating a protagonist. We've already done, this is what the spread looks like. But we're not doing all of that. We're just going to be focusing on the left arm today. We're going to be focusing on what the character dislikes about themselves and also how they receive love. We've already done what the character thinks. We've done how they speak. We've done how they feel. We've done what they like about themselves, and we've done how they give love out. So now here we go into these ones. So this is the two cards that we're dealing with today. With the King of Pentacles, we have what the character dislikes about themselves. Again, which is also, this is very interesting because on the liking about themselves, they liked that they were slow, comfortable, very patient, that kind of a thing. But what they don't like about themselves is maybe they are too comfortable. The King of Pentacles is the most safest character in the entire deck. He knows where his money's going. He's not willing to step out of his comfort zone. He is very slow. He's very patient, very comfortable. He's he just doesn't like to rush into things. And so that he doesn't like, he's just very slow, I guess. Is the best way to say that. But again, Pentacles is the element of earth. Earth is associated with our health, our body, and our money. So again, very slow. So what he does like about him, what this character does like about themselves, like from the previous video, they seem to have a feminine side. They can, and I wonder if maybe even there is a balance. Like we discussed how they have a heart of justice with balance and scales of balances. They have the king and the queen on both of their arms. So there seems to be some sort of a balance with this protagonist character. Going a little bit into this card, even though this character is the safest card in the person in the entire deck or character, there seems to be some waves going on underneath the sea. There seems to be something irking him. There seems to be something's coming. It's like he's thinking. If you look at the coin on his hand, he looks like he's almost about to flip it, almost like Two-Face. It almost feels like he's thinking, he's got like this twitch about, how do I do this? What's my next step? How do I tell people the bad news? How do I guide people into the next section of what I want to do with my kingdom? That kind of a thing. So that just kind of what I'm getting out of that card. Now, how the character receives love. We got the King of Wands. Wands is associated with the element of fire. Fire is associated with our creative energies and our aspirations. So this character, how they receive love, is probably support for their creative energies, their creative aspirations, their artistry, their way of thinking outside of the box. Probably the way that they receive love is by people acknowledging their achievements, by recognition, that kind of thing. It doesn't seem like it's presence. That would be more Pentacles again, but Wands again is fire and creative energies and creativity. So maybe there's like good reviews for something if this person's a writer, or this mer person is a writer, or something of that nature. Something that always kind of gets me with this card is so many tattoos. There are so many tattoos on this guy's back and all around down his arms. It's just like, how much pain was that? That was so painful. And then also the shark fin on the butt. It's very prominent. So I just wonder if maybe the King of Wands could be something of very sharkish. If you look also in the background of the card, all the sharks are around him as well. Like he's guiding the sharks. So sharks are kind of predatory. They can be, I'm thinking more Jaws and more, I don't know much about the science of sharks. That might be something I want to research for this character. Maybe this character is a shark speaker, a shark whisperer, versus a clownfish whisperer or something. Maybe they don't all speak the same languages like what we do. Like we're all humans. We all have different languages that we speak. So maybe a clownfish speaks differently than a shark. Maybe a shark speaks differently than a dolphin. And maybe the dialects, like if you look at dolphins and orcas, they're both dolphins, but maybe they have different dialects. So I don't know, that might be something to pay attention to here. But with the King of Wands, with how they receive love, it just seems to be something very to their. If you also want to go Jaws-ish, it's just like attackish. Wands is very attackish. Wands is very active. Wands is very, I'm going to do stuff. So maybe how they receive love is just having people help them put a project together, or stepping up, showing up for them when they need them most, that kind of a thing. It just kind of feels a bit more service-based, not necessarily emotionally based or earthly, like presence-based, that kind of a thing. That's just kind of what I'm getting out of the card. So going into the card a little bit more, it doesn't look like there's a lot of coral actually as well. It looks like the coral, there is nothing. It just looks like plateaus, a bunch of plateaus. So that's very interesting to have with the King of Wands. I don't know. Everything else just seems to have been very corally and very under the water kind of a thing. And this is still under the water, but it just feels, something feels dead with it. Something feels like burnt or whatever. A Wands is very interesting to get underneath the water, so we don't necessarily need to go with the actual element of fire, but maybe go with the element of passion. So again, I'm going to invite you to do another breathing exercise for yourself when you're reading your own cards, so that when you do go to create your own content about, when you tag me, comment, and also stitch whatever this is, you are more than welcome to tell us what your findings are. Go to your journal, what your findings are. Now remember to also, I haven't said this in a couple of videos before, remember to leave some space, because you're going to be finding some new things as the spread goes on. You're going to be seeing how the different cards connect, and it will be very good for you to leave spaces for some of those new findings that you'll be getting. In episode 4, we're going to be dealing with the right leg. What is the character's biggest fear? And also, what are they running from their internal conflict? Now, we don't know the internal conflict yet. That's the card at the bottom of the deck. It is coming on card number 12, so we're getting there. But this will give us a little bit more of something to ponder about what the character is running from. And with that, I guess I will see you in episode 4.